What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another SkillCapped video. In this one, we'll be sharing with you the 10 new Korean builds that are on the rise for patch 11.16. Each build we feature is either seeing a ton of success in solo queue or being spammed by pros, so you can be sure each setup is legit. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description for a special discount. So, with all that being said, let's get right into it. Tank Lillia top lane is arguably one of the most unique builds we have to feature today that's heavily underrated. The setup consists of a Frozen Heart rush into Riftmaker second and Zhonya's third. Short cooldown on Lillia Q provides her with consistent damage output, so rushing a tankier item and playing for drawn-out extended fights works super well. Frozen Heart shuts down so many meta top laners due to the mass amount of armor along with the attack speed and damage reduction. Haste and mana are perfect for Lillia as well, as she can spam out Q a lot more often. If you're having difficulties with meta top laners like Set and Camille, then this build can do a great job shutting them down. Lillia is also one of the few top laners with a positive win rate against Tahm Kench, as she's winning around 54% of the time. A second item Riftmaker will add to your extended dueling strength, and then Zhonya's gives you even more durability against those AD comps. Since you're playing for those drawn-out fights, Conqueror will work best as the keystone, followed with Presence of Mind, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Secondaries are Bone Plating and Unflinching. Not gonna lie, Darius being less apparent in the meta for the last few patches has been quite nice, but with a new build emerging, that may not last for long. After the Stridebreaker nerfs, it's been falling out of meta. In its place, Divine Sunderer has slowly started seeing more and more play over in Korea. In games where you're laning against a health-stacking bruiser or tank, Divine Sunderer is a super underrated pickup. Darius' kit allows him to chew through those tanks with ease, and when you add on Divine Sunderer's % health damage and armor pen, it becomes even more insane. Stat-wise, Divine Sunderer wins about 2% more than Stridebreaker at the moment as a rush item. The complete core build is Divine into Sterek second and Deadman's Plate third. Runes are pretty straightforward, as you'll run Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand for primaries, followed by Second Wind and Unflinching for secondaries. A new Bruiser build for Lucian top lane is being played by the likes of Korean pro Naguri. Divine Sunderer is the rush item as it allows Lucian to do a great job at cutting down the bruiser tops. The extra health from Divine and Black Cleaver make Lucian super difficult to take down. Combine this extra tankiness with the strong kiting potential and you have a very easy time beating up on meta top lane picks. Second item is Manamune to provide you with a very satisfying mid-game spike. All the mana from the item allows you to spam out abilities and get the most out of Divine's Spellblade proc. For more raw burst, you can grab a Cyrilda's Grudge third, or if you want even more survivability, then Black Cleaver slots in very well. Pick up Press the Attack as the keystone with Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace. Roll with Inspiration secondary, opting for Free Boots and Biscuits. Damwon's jungler Canyon has been up to some new tricks on his Graves, spamming a Stridebreaker build. The closer you can stick onto your opponent with Graves, the higher your DPS will be, so Stridebreaker has really solid synergy. The slow from Stride active also makes it much more guaranteed that both portions of Graves' Q damage will proc. The more popular Eclipse build leaves you relatively squishy, so receiving the 300 health from Stridebreaker lets you play a little more aggro. After completing Stridebreaker, Canyon follows with an Umbral Glaive second and Serpent's Fang third. Very cheap damage items that will allow you to hit a 3-item spike much earlier in the game. Although Dark Harvest is the most popular keystone for Graves right now, Canyon has been running Fleet Footwork. Less damage for more kiting potential and sustain is the trade-off. Overheal, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace round out the primaries, while Zombie Ward and Ravenous Hunter is your secondary page. Akshan has been out for a good while now, and the Koreans are 2 steps ahead of everyone else in regards to the best setup. Many Western Akshans are playing him full crit to very little success, while Koreans are spamming an on-hit build and winning way more. The build is Wit's End Rush into Kraken Slayer second and Blade of the Ruin King third. On-hit effect items are so great for Akshan as his passive applies them at 100% effectiveness. Akshan E also applies on-hit effects, albeit at only 25% effectiveness. The overall damage output is so much greater with this on-hit build, and the stats back it up even further. On-hit build is winning about 57% 50% of the time compared to crit at 54%. In games where you're against a few strong AP threats, then the on-hit build is definitely what you want to lean towards. We were super surprised that Wit's End wasn't nerfed in 11.16, so look to abuse it while you can. For runes, take Press the Attack with Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace. Best secondary page is Shield Bash and Bone Plating. A burst-focused build for Cassiopeia that Faker and UCal have been playing revolves around a Luden's Tempest Rush. In the correct situations, Luden's is a very underrated purchase for Cass. The Magic Pen and passive proc give you more power to one-shot those squishy targets. In games where the enemy comp lacks a tank or any heavy health stackers, then prioritizing Luden's over Liandry's is a great idea. The damage buff from E last patch gives Cass stronger all-in potential, so when you combine that with the upfront power of Luden's, you can really surprise your opponent. Second item will be a Cosmic Drive, and then Archangels or Zanya's third. Conqueror will be your keystone with Presence of Mind, Tenacity, and Coup de Grace. Grab Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter for secondaries. There are so many ADCs right now who should be taking advantage of Wit's End, and one who very few people are building it on is Varus. Everyone's so tunneled into building lethality on Varus right now that there's a broken on-hit build flying heavily under the radar. Shield Bow will be your rush item, followed by Wit's End second and Rage Blade third. The mixed damage from this setup is great as you have magic damage coming out of Varus W along with Wit's End passive. The item combo of Shield Bow and Wits gives you so much durability, which helps Varus tremendously. Not being blown up in a fight immediately and having the wiggle room to kite around is such a great perk. With AP dive champs like Katarina, LeBlanc, and Silas running rampant in the meta, using this build to shut them down works so well. For your rune page, take Hail of Blades with Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collector, and Ravenous Hunter. Secondary page is Biscuits and Cosmic Insight. Divine Sunderer nerfs have opened up the Essence Reaver build to come back for Ezreal, and many Koreans are abusing it. Situationally against heavy tank comps, Divine Sunderer is still a great option, but you should look the way of Essence Reaver more often now. A massive undervalued part of ER is that it costs 500 gold less than Divine, so you hit your mid-game spikes super fast. Essence into Manamune and Duskblade is the build seeing the most success on Ezreal for 11.16. The build path holds a 61% win rate compared to the standard Divine Sunderer at 59%. Divine with Frozen Heart build definitely provides more durability, whereas this setup provides more burst and snowball power. Both builds are viable right now, so it really comes down to the game and preference. Ezreal Rune Page is Conqueror with Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace. Roll with Biscuits and Cosmic Insight for secondaries. Support Trundle with Hail of Blades as the keystone is a new one that many pro players have been spamming as of recent. When you chomp the enemy with Trundle Q, not only do you deal damage, but for the next 5 seconds, you gain bonus AD. This is where HOB comes in, as it allows you to benefit from that extra AD and fire off 3 super high damage auto attacks. You're going to want to play this Trundle support as a counterpick into other melee supports. If you're laning against a ranged champ like Lulu or Karma, it's going to be extremely difficult to get in range of autos, which will make the HOB strategy much less potent. Pick Trundle into champs like Thresh, Nautilus, Blitzcrank, and Galio, as you'll be able to trade with autos very reliably. It's not just the rune page that's unique though, as the build emphasizes the new Anathema's chains. Locket into Anathemas and Wardstone is the core setup that Trundle players are having the most success with. Don't forget to grab Lucidity Boots, as you want as much haste as possible to spam your E out in fights. Ability max is key here, as you'll want to max E out first, followed by W second and Q last. The complete rune page is Hail of Blades with Cheap Shot, Zombie Ward, and Relentless Hunter. Most optimal secondaries are Biscuits and Time Warp Tonic. And the final build we have for you guys today is one being played by many Korean pros, which is Zanya's Rush on Nautilus support. Zanya's on a champ like Naut, who has some solid AP ratios in his kit, offers really great value. As an aggressive support who wants to be looking for picks and diving in, the Zanya's allows him to do that more freely. Once completed, you can look for dive plays and tank a bunch of tower shots before popping stasis and resetting tower aggro. Sometimes a flash hook play may put you a bit ahead of your team, so after finding that catch, Zanya's allows you to stall without getting blown up before your team can arrive. Second and third items are Locket and Zeke's Convergence. Take Aftershock as the keystone, followed by Shield Bash, Bone Plating, and Unflinching. Secondaries are Biscuits and Cosmic Insight. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's kind of like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into ELO hell 629 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $4.99 a month if you're serious about improving. Alright guys, those are all the new builds we have for you today. Good luck in 11.16, and we'll see you back here soon.